Welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely pumped to dive into this with you because honestly, we're looking at a massive, highly relevant crisis unfolding right now. It's something affecting students and new grads pretty much everywhere. We're going to look closely at a systemic shockwave currently happening in China, but make no mistake, this is a huge cautionary tale for all of us. Today, we're breaking down exactly how to escape the degree trap and, more importantly, how to build the real, transferable skills that will make you completely indispensable in a fast-changing economy.
Right off the bat, think about this staggering number for a second. Nearly 13 million. Almost 13 million students are graduating in China every single year, stepping out of those university gates and straight into a market that, quite frankly, just doesn't want them. We aren't talking about a minor economic dip here. This is a record-high youth unemployment crisis. It's a complete structural mismatch between what young people spent years studying and what the real world actually needs today.
Section 1. The Kong Yiji Crisis. A cultural and psychological shock.
To really understand the depth of this issue, we have to look past the economic data. What we're witnessing is a profound cultural and psychological shock to an entire generation. And that brings us to a really fascinating, though tragic, cultural anchor, the Kong Yiji syndrome. So Kong Yiji is this classic literary character, an impoverished intellectual who refused to take off his scholar's gown to do manual labor, even if it literally meant starving. Today, modern graduates are trapped in that exact same mindset. Families poured their life savings into these expensive, hard-earned degrees, which creates this sort of fake value positioning. These grads feel their expensive education guarantees them a glamorous, high-paying office job. And when it doesn't, their pride becomes a cage, stopping them from taking practical, hands-on jobs that are actually desperate for manpower.
So, when that glamorous job never materializes, we see the rise of two viral phenomena you might have heard of. Tangping, which means lying flat, and Bailan, which basically means letting it rot. Now, older generations often rush to label this as sheer laziness, but actually, that's completely wrong. Psychologically, this is clinical exhaustion. It's a defense mechanism. After sacrificing your entire childhood to intense exam pressures, only to face a brutal, unwinnable job market, these young people are dealing with learned helplessness. It's the ultimate sunk cost fallacy. They're just refusing to play a game where the rules are rigged against them.
Section 2. The degree inflation trap and the structural collapse of education.
The crisis isn't just about a lack of jobs, it's a symptom of the complete collapse of the traditional packaged education model. It's like a giant puzzle where the pieces just don't fit. On one side, universities are operating like industrial assembly lines, just pumping out millions of graduates with degrees in finance, management, law, and languages. But on the flip side, the economy has shifted completely. The market is aggressively hunting for what's being called new quality productive forces. They are starving for smart manufacturing engineers, semiconductor technicians, deep tech talent. There is this massive surplus of desk workers right alongside a critical shortage of hands-on technical experts.
And this mismatch has led to insane credential inflation. As universities just expanded indiscriminately, the core value of a degree in the eyes of employers totally eroded. We're now seeing this wild paradox where, to a lot of employers, a higher degree actually signals lower practical competence. A university diploma just doesn't guarantee exceptional thinking or problem-solving anymore. To the market, it really just proves you are capable of sitting through a rigid, 4-year compliance process.
Section 3. The automation takeover and disappearing entry roles.
Now, add to this a highly disruptive factor. Technology has completely shattered the traditional corporate ladder for fresh grads. Our old industrial-era education model is fundamentally failing in the age of AI. Just think about this quote. Schools are investing 16 years training students in rote memorization, formulaic calculation, and test prep. They're essentially being trained to be biological computers. But in the digital era, the things our schools train best happen to be exactly what machines do best and way cheaper. Graduates are walking out of school only to immediately lose to automation algorithms on their own home turf.
Because of this, crucial entry-level roles are just vanishing. We're talking data entry, elementary translation, basic coding, initial auditing. Historically, these were the incubator jobs, right? The filter funnels where companies could onboard young, inexperienced talent and actually train them up. Today, AI does those jobs faster and better. Without these lower-level positions, the entry doors slammed shut. Companies now demand 2 to 3 years of experience right out of the gate, but fresh graduates have literally nowhere to get that experience.
Section 4. Escaping the degree trap and taking back control.
So, where does this leave us? How do you avoid this exact fate and take back control of your own career trajectory? Well, this is where we pivot from talking about the problem to actively solving it. The absolutely crucial first step is making what career experts call a psychological landing. First, you have to cast aside that Kong-Yuji gown of pride. Second, completely separate your self-worth from your degree or your job title. A market rejection is a temporary economic reality. It is not a life sentence on your human dignity. And third, you just have to be willing to start small. Treat your first job simply as a functional entry ticket into the market, a way to keep your brain sharp and the cash flowing, instead of sitting around waiting for a perfect position that just doesn't exist anymore.
We really have to confront this harsh, but honestly, deeply liberating reality. The labor market owes no one a job simply because they worked hard in school. When faced with a tough job market, our instinct is so often to go hide in academia, to go back for a master's or a PhD thinking it'll make us more competitive. But in reality, that often just makes you too expensive to hire with zero practical experience. You have to shatter the illusion that more education guarantees safety. Stop accumulating degrees and start accumulating real-world value.
Section 5. Building Real Skills, the Required Toolkit. So if degrees are inflating and AI is eating up the entry-level jobs, what is the exact toolkit you need to become indispensable? You need to transition away from rigid academic skills and build a versatile, transferable skill toolkit. Look, academic skills like rote memorization and compliance are easily replaced. What employers are desperately searching for, and what machines absolutely cannot fake yet, are core soft skills and agile thinking. We're talking complex problem solving, digital adaptability, strong communication, and emotional intelligence. This transferable toolkit, it's your insurance policy. It allows you to pivot fluidly when your specific industry inevitably faces disruption.
But, having the right mindset isn't enough. You need proof. You have to avoid the empty portfolio trap. Employers don't want to hire a semi-finished product whose only proof of competence is a high GPA. They want solutions. You need to throw yourself into the market starting from year one. Take part-time jobs, jump into community projects, secure internships, even unpaid ones if they give you actual real-world experience, or just launch your own micro-projects. You have to bridge that gap between theory and practice long before graduation day.
Ultimately, escaping the degree trap requires a total fundamental shift in how you plan your future. You need to shift your mindset from choosing a major to choosing skills. Don't ask yourself what job title you want. Ask what capabilities you want to own. And crucially, follow the value flow of the physical economy. Look at where the investment is actually going. Things like smart manufacturing, green energy, tech logistics, rather than blindly chasing career prestige in oversaturated, traditional white-collar fields.
I want to leave you with this final provocative thought today. Take a hard look at your current trajectory and ask yourself honestly, are you just spending your youth collecting degrees, hoping a piece of paper is going to protect you? Or are you actively building the real-world transferable value that the market is actually begging for right now? The choice is completely yours, but the time to start building those real skills is today. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you in the next one.